Hey y'all, let's cook some dinner. Tonight is potato soup night, and something that I like to do anytime I serve soup, because I have little kids who can sometimes be picky and not want to eat it, I always make a loaf of bread. This is a very quick artisan loaf. It's the kind that you mix up the night before, just like flour, yeast, salt, water. Sits on your counter in a bowl for 12 to 18 hours, and then the next morning you bake it up. It's kind of like a knockoff sourdough, if you will. And we always have this on soup night. Tonight I will be making a potato soup, and that always starts with bacon. I really like this meal when I'm trying to make something affordable because it's pretty flexible. You can swap out a lot of the ingredients. So later you're going to see that it calls for heavy cream, but I have extra half and half, so I'm just going to put that in there and it'll be fine. Also, it calls for vegetable broth, but you can use any kind of broth that you have left over in your fridge if you have any. Just empty out all those cartons, that sort of thing. Once I actually didn't even have bacon, but I did have bacon grease left over in a container in my fridge, and I just used that to flavor the soup. One of my favorite smells is the smell of onion cooking in some kind of fat. So bacon or butter or anything like that. Oh, it's just the best smell. When I source ingredients that I'm going to use to cook for my family, I do my best to understand how each ingredient is produced and works. And because of this, we try to get pasture-raised pork. Now today, I don't actually have pasture-raised pork. We are due to pick up our hog in a couple months here, and we just ran out of bacon. But pasture-raised pork has a higher ratio of omega-3s to omega-6s, and that's much better for inflammation. I'll put the recipe for this in the description box below. But one thing I don't think I included is that you can use an immersion blender at the end to blend it to your desired thickness. We usually blend it just a little bit to make it a little more creamy, but we do leave lots of potatoes. I think it just makes it easier for our kids to eat that. And then at the end you can top it with cheese or extra bacon or scallions. It really just depends what you have on hand. Tonight I did not have scallions, so we just did cheese, and it was plenty delicious. The bread, we just put some pasture-raised butter on top, and it's so good. Hey y'all, welcome back. It is the next day and I'm getting ready to cook some dinner. I'm down here in my bulk storage. I had to come down and grab some rice, and then the kids are upstairs watching a show, so I needed to say hello to you somewhere else. Tonight for dinner we are going to be doing pork fried rice. I love this meal because it's cheap. We often have leftover white rice in the fridge, and we also have so much ground pork still. It is the hardest cut of meat for us to use from our bulk hog purchase. We just don't eat it that often, but this is a great use of it. If you don't have cold, old white rice, you can still make this recipe. I have 100% cooked hot rice and put it into the pot, and I know you're not supposed to do that, but it's fine. I don't know, it's fine. Maybe the cold rice does improve the texture just a little bit, but don't let it deter you because it's gonna be fine. Okay, so I do have cold rice, but I'm not positive it's enough, so I'm going to cook up this as well. And I might actually do extra because I think we're going to do chipotle bowls tomorrow, and I don't want to cook rice twice. One thing that bothered me with a lot of pork fried rice recipes was they always had to add the carrots towards the end, and my carrots never got soft enough. I don't know if that's just because I use fresh carrots rather than from the freezer, which I think a lot of recipes assume you're using just frozen diced carrots. But yeah, we use fresh, and I add them with the onions, and I make sure that they're really soft before I start the ground pork. And here are all my diced veggies, and they're gonna go in the pot. My rice is cooking up. Okay, I thought these egg yolks were beautiful. They're the Nellie's eggs, and we don't normally buy this brand. We've been buying Costco because that's what we can afford. And all of our friends who have chickens, of course their chickens are not laying because it's winter, so I was just so happy to see how orange these yolks were. Next, I just fry the eggs up in a pan, and I use a little bit of avocado oil to cook them up, and they turn out beautiful. I'm not sure if this is the case for everyone, but to me it seems like sourcing pasture-raised local eggs has gotten really hard. Like I think a lot of people just want them and so they're always out of stock and they've gotten really expensive. I don't know, that's been my experience. And here I'm just gonna crush this up. If you don't have this meat chopper, it's like $5 on Amazon and it is a game changer. I love it so much. And then we add our soy sauce and our sesame oil. I'm pretty careful to buy really high quality sauces like this because they can really have a lot of junk in them. So these are both from Azure Standard and I think we buy them in 3 packs and they're a little bit cheaper per bottle. And then you just add your eggs in after everything is done cooking and all stirred together. And then, oh, I forgot my peas on this day. I usually add these in just a little bit earlier, maybe with the rice so they can get warm, but this was fine. And then I'd always taste it. If it needs more salt, instead of adding salt, I just add a little more soy sauce, and that always brings a lot of salty flavor. This was a hit. Thank you so much for hanging out. I hope these recipes help you get some dinner on the table. Have a good day.